Hello Guardians, it is Ebontis, and in this video I want to talk about Point Contact Cannon Brace. And unless I'm missing something, I feel like this exotic doesn't do much. It really doesn't. Okay, let me explain what it's supposed to do. Defeating targets with your Thunderclap melee restores melee energy. Targets near you when you use your Thunderclap suffer lightning strikes. Being amplified increases the range of those lightning strikes. So, here's the deal. You've got a melee ability that has a substantial charge up time. Theoretically, when you kill enemies with Thunderclap, you're going to get some energy back, and then enemies near you specifically targets near you will suffer lightning strikes. And if you're amplified, the lightning strikes around you will be greater. So let's see if we can make some of this stuff happen. So, we've got about 4 or 5 guys around here. See if I can wake them all up. Now, the goal would be, in theory... I literally just heard nothing there. That's the sad part about this. Now, let me try and get some of my grenade energy back. I've got a build to where I can get my grenade energy back fairly frequently. So we'll see if we can do that again. That's one of the problems right there. Now, did I do the full charge? No. Was I amplified? No. But that's the main start. The way the Thunderclap in and of itself is designed, I don't love its, like, area of effect. Because it's, like, it's flat. I can't tell how vertical it goes. Because if you hold it, you plant your feet, you don't move, you're kind of exposed, and then you've got a decent charge up time to get the full use out of it. So now let's try it again. Let's see if I can go punch something, get amplified, and then stand in the middle of stuff. Alright, so that's that. Now, you saw I got about 50% of my melee back. I shot my gun and I got a kill and I got more back. But the idea there is you saw the melee in and of itself not be too bad. Okay? So now the goal that I want to do is I want to get amplified somehow. So I got amplified. Now, I do next to literally no damage with that thing. I can throw a grenade, let that thing go wandering, and I've got a decent build. I haven't even showed you guys the build yet that is allowing me to do some of this stuff. Come up here, try it again. Make sure I'm amplified. Again, I can kill these guys and really start to go for it. Got right hook. Gonna get multiple kills. Make some wells. Try not to get nuked too bad. I hit him for about 50k. Nothing crazy. I can do 50k in about 5 seconds here, and it doesn't take me messing with this giant build. Again, I'm unstable essence, so that's not a bad thing. Got my class ability used there, and it comes back. This is a very easy loss sector to do on normal. So now let's talk about what just happened, because here's where part of my issues lie. Did anybody notice any giant lightning strikes around me when I thunderclapped in the middle of that group of enemies? I didn't. Now, granted, they probably would have been more if I was amplified in that specific moment. But the biggest thing about the exotic, or not even the exotic, but Thunderclap in the first place, is when I'm going to use it, if I'm going to go for a full charge, it takes me that long to use it. It's quite a long time to do, which is step 1 of the problem. So you're fairly exposed when you use it. Check. Now, this is the build I set up just to see how it would go. So I've got Well of Ions. Picking up an Arc Elemental Well causes your next melee to deal increased damage. Check. Reduces melee cooldown when using your class ability. Check. And that one's actually, I don't even know if it stacks. Absolution. If I pick up an orb, reduces all ability cooldowns. I've got Melee Wellmaker. So if I powered melee combatant final blows, spawn a well. When I get that well, then my Well of Ions, my next one's there, but it's kind of hard to get that timing. So this is the kind of the idea. Now I'm sitting over here. I've got, you know, Arc Weapon Final Blows do an Ionic Trace, so I'll get those backer. Defeating a Jolted back quicker. Defeating a Jolted target creates an Ionic Trace. Your Arc Grenades jolt targets, so I can jolt things, I can defeat those, get Ionic Traces, get those Ionic Traces to come faster. And then you're taking melee damage briefly increases your outgoing melee damage. So theoretically, could be a little bit more. But all of that for one thing. Now, here's the issue. I'm going to swap over to something that doesn't do me a whole lot of good in the melee department. See if I can find something that's just, like, reasonable. And I'm going to switch over to Heart of Inmost Light. There are multiple exotics that literally do more for you, and they've already been doing it for a while. This is the first one. I just don't have it on my character. Kills with arc melee abilities trigger health regeneration. That's already a good thing. And restore melee energy. It does the same thing, and it heals you. Now, the little lightning strikes around me, I don't know if I've seen them yet. So I would much rather have health regeneration when I get close and exposed to try and do a melee where I'm standing still, as opposed to worry about lightning striking around me. That's one. There's probably more than I'm going to mention. But the next one, if you're going to, and that's any melee. That's not just Thunderclap. That's just an arc melee. So you want a shoulder charge? You can do the same thing with this. And then you can cover ground and move and not stand still. Will you do as much damage? Probably not, but that's okay. The other one I wanted to show you guys is, oh, I just have an ornament on mine. That's why. Heart of Inmost Light. Now here, we've got using an ability, grenade, melee, or barricade, empowers the other two. Empowered means abilities have faster regen, and melees and grenades do more damage, barricades have more hit points. So they all come back faster as you use one, the other two come back, so it's this kind of fun cycle. Melees and grenades do more damage, so I can already stack more damage with Overflowing Light. Barricades have more hit points. They're just going to last longer. So I can go with nearly the same build that I had before. I don't think I have all the same thing, like melee Wellmaker. I need to, that's actually on there. This one, let me see if I can get like momentum transfer, Well of Striking. This is not set up as, gotta remove all my mods. So I'll swap this over to Arc, and then we can literally do the same thing. Momentum transfer, go with a strength build, and then we can do Well of Striking. Should be the same thing. Yep. So now, if we run outside and do the same thing, but this time with Heart of Inmost Light, and this is what I want to show you guys, just in here when nothing's happening. If I throw a grenade, I can see my barricade and my melee are empowered. Now my melee is twice as empowered, so if I do that, it's going to hit harder. Oh, and guess what? Now everything's recharging faster. Faster and faster and faster. Just by using my other abilities, which now are all half to 3/4 recharged, I get my other abilities back more frequently. You can use Heart of Inmost Light with any subclass. Doesn't matter. You can use it with Void, with Solar, with Arc. If you have Heart of Inmost Light, that's something I should probably review for a Titan because it's fantastic. So I should be out here long enough. We good out here? Everybody chilling? Alright. Let's go back and hide. And in theory, the Thunderclap is not a horrible melee. It just is somewhat counterintuitive to it, but when the exotic that was built for it is not good, that's when it's kind of depressing to me. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to kill these couple of guys because I don't want that guy to punch me. But now that I'm amplified and I've got my melee damage bonus, now let's see what happens if I can get a full charge. If you notice, nothing around me took any damage. I don't know what the nearby enemies is supposed to be, but it doesn't seem to be much. Oh, I'm using the wrong exotic, sorry. But now let's see what happens when I do this. So I've got an empowered grenade. I can go through here. I've got this thing back. And it's just this idea. Oh, my grenade. I can go chase him now. I'll put my barricade up so he can't hit me with his missiles. I've got my Thunderclamp up again. I'm going to come over here. grenade. And it's just this wonderful little cycle that kind of continues nonstop. And I guess basically what I'm saying is no matter how good or bad... Oh, this is what he's supposedly arcing out over here? Not much. What I'm saying is you can build into one specific damage type. Melee is what I'm going for, and I don't even have that high of a stat right now. It would be faster, because this thing would be substantially lower. But my point is, this exotic doesn't do a whole bunch of anything. And as much as I can lean into melee, there are ones that do it better. In pretty much all ways. If I really want to just go melees, Insurmountable Skullfort, that's the way to do it. You're going to get health for one, and you're going to get more of your melee energy back. Because guess what? You can damn near do that infinitely in PvP. So, that one's cool. Heart of Inmost Light. Get most of your abilities back on a continuous basis. Because you just cycle through Barricade, Melee, and you can cast that melee as long as you hit something, it's going to count. Then you throw a grenade. Now you have the Thunder Grenades that run around and track. Now granted, I'm not going to argue. The grenades we got, wonderful. Storm Grenade, fantastic, and that thing may even need to be nerfed. I'm not saying I want it to be, but it's really, really strong. So if that happens, don't be too surprised. But even then, you can still cast any of your grenades, and you just cycle through Grenade, Barricade, Melee, and you just can rotate. You get Ionic Traces going. Maybe you have your Delicate Tomb getting Ionic Traces, and it's just absolutely bonkers. It's fun to do, don't get me wrong, but there are just exotics that do what it's trying to do basically better all the time. And I can't quite figure out why that is. That's just like the weird thing to me. Like, I could run out and do it one more time. I don't even know if it's necessary at this point. But it's this weird situation that a weapon and, you know, armor combination that should be leaning into melees as much as feasibly possible. I've got Pugilist, I've got Right Hook, I've got Arc Melee, Well Producer, all the craziness going on. All of that should make me pretty stout when it comes to Thunderclap. So we're going to try one more time to see if we can get these wonderful lightning strikes to appear around me. Because last time it didn't seem to want to happen. So, this time we're going to try it again. If I can't get the lightning strikes around me, like hurting enemies behind me with a full charge or anything of that nature, then I'm really not entirely sure what the point in this thing is. So let's see. I'm going to punch you. So I'm definitely amplified. I've got Right Hook. So let's see. I got blinded. There's a lot of things still alive. Now I cast my grenade and I cast my barricade. Now, casting my barricade gets my melee ability back faster, sure, but it did that anyway. Now, I'm currently on Stable Essence, so it's going to hit a lot harder than normal. It's not any harder than it would without the other exotics. So I'm literally not seeing the point, and you're giving up basically something that's going to be better by using this exotic. You're either giving up health regen, you're either giving up the ability to use other abilities more frequently because you want a good Thunderclap, and it just does not seem to be worth it. Now, yeah, sure, at a full charge of it hits hard, but the whole point is I don't notice the whole electrification around me at all. So, this video's definitely gone on long enough, but that's kind of the point. Point Contact Brace right now needs a buff. Thunderclap, kind of cool, kind of fun. Still trying to decide if I like it or just don't care about it. But leaning into it with Momentum Transfer, Well of Striking, Melee Well Maker, I've got Outreach, Well of Ions, basically everything I can do, and then I've got Pugilist, Right Hook, Wrap, Right Hook, Pugilist. Everything I'm doing is going to take advantage of a melee, and unfortunately, Heart of Inmost Light and an Insurmountable Skullfort do it better than this thing seems to be capable of at all. So, right now, unfortunately, this is where I stand on this exotic. I got a good roll for once, like seriously a solid 65 with like nice distribution for this specific exotic, and I don't even want to use it, and that's sad. So hopefully at some point this will get buffed, but right now I'll be using Heart of Inmost Light, or if I really want to mess around, just Insurmountable Skullfort and just melee the crap out of everything and get healed. That's kind of a nice thing to do as well. So if you guys enjoyed this video, drop a like below, leave a comment if you got questions. If you like this exotic, please tell me what build you're using it in, what situation you're finding it good. If you've got a build that you enjoy using any of this stuff around, let me know. I'm definitely curious to try that type of stuff. If you want to find me on Twitter or Twitch, it's Ebontis over there. But as I said, if you enjoyed this one, drop a like, leave a comment. If you are not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button, hit the alert bell. Other than that, yeah, I wish this was better. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good one.